What is the CSU really? Well, briefly put, the Concordia Student Union is exactly that, a union, sort of like you find in many workplaces. It represents every full-time and part-time student. That's about 35,000 people, or a bit less than the entire population of Juneau, Alaska. With such a huge student body, sometimes it's easy to feel like just another number. But the CSU isn't supposed to see you that way. The student body is made up of a huge range of clubs, groups, and students, and it's the CSU's job to protect each one's interests. But, of course, nothing is free. Every student has to pay their union dues. The amount you pay per semester may not seem high, but all told, the CSU manages a yearly multi-million-dollar budget. So, the CSU is the size of a small city and has millions of dollars at its disposal. Still with me? Now, all that money can go a long way. The CSU has the ability to put into motion all sorts of projects to both make your Concordia experience more fun, but to also fight for your rights. Except sometimes it seems all they really do is write a lot of press releases and host a few parties. But who gets elected is ultimately up to you. Every March, you vote not only for the president, but also 7 vice presidents. It's funny, though, that despite being responsible for millions of dollars, only 3% out of hundreds of people we interviewed could name the current CSU president. But it doesn't end there. The CSU is also comprised of a council. Council is made up of students from every faculty. They're supposed to keep the executive in check, to make sure whatever they do is best for all students. Unfortunately, in the past, council has been mostly made up of friends of the executive who are, well, less than critical. This is a problem. That's why we're running counselors with differing views, so discussion and, yes, maybe even democracy can take place. During the election, you also elect members to Senate. It's a mix of faculty and students, and they are the highest academic decision-making body in all of Concordia. Or in English, they're the ones who do things like approve a new program. Then comes the Board of Governors. This is the highest governing body at the university, the big cheeses. These are the people you keep hearing all the noise about. To be brief, they run the school. On this board, there are students, faculty, and support staff. But the majority of those who sit on the board, those who make the biggest decisions, are what's called the community at large members. These are supposed to be everyday people from the community, but this sure as hell isn't the community you and I know. There are no bus drivers or baristas in this community. No, these are the heads of energy firms, crown corporations, media conglomerates, oil companies, banks, and all sorts of CEOs. Basically, people who have very, different interests than most students. And they get to decide what you get to learn. And for how much. Oh, and you don't get to elect these people. Out of the 40-odd people who sit on BOG, you vote for 2 student reps. This is why electing a strong CSU is so important, to stand up for us against all these external influences and protect students' rights. Sadly, often you get people who are passive and more interested in cocktail parties with big businessmen. Don't get us wrong, we like to party. But we also like not having millions of student dollars locked in sketchy student center contracts. And we like not having to pay more just to get an education. We like not having the school run by people who are completely out of touch with student life. So yes, it's complicated. And yes, you'd rather be studying for your next exam. But these things matter. And we just thought you should know what you're voting for, even if you don't vote for us. After all, knowledge is power, and we want the power back in the students' hands. To see how we plan on changing things, visit us at YourConcordia.ca.